community action and social entrepreneurship. And she has dedicated her efforts with governmental authorities, corporates, educational institutions, NGOs, and has dedicated to serving with compassion in a mission-driven family. Please give a big hand for Dr. Devi Dasi.
So we'll say first a small prayer, and I'm sure you all will be able to catch it up. So we'll say the prayer together. Okay? Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Jai Shri Radha Madan Gopal Lalita Vishakha Devi ki Jai. Hare Krishna. And heartiest welcome to Shri Radha Madan Gopal Lalita Vishakha Temple. Is it okay if I speak in English? Ki Hindi? What is more comfortable? Both is okay, but I can shift between languages. Is it okay? बीच में थोड़ा हिंदी मराठी जो इंग्लिश को नहीं जमता है वो हिंदी और मराठी में बोलना पसंद करूँगी. So the topic for today, first of all, before I start, I'm standing here because my best friend wanted me to talk to all of you. So, Ras Radhika is my best friend, and typically we hear about friendship a lot, yeah, and be it the spiritual circles, be it otherwise, actually friendship is something that is most valuable and most treasured thing. All of you agree? Dosti sab kuch hai, in that sense, yeah. So, but then in devotee circle you will find out that it's not friends with benefits, yeah. मी तुझ्यासाठी हे करते म्हणून तू माझ्यासाठी हे कर, So that's not what is the basis for friendship when it comes to devotees. And you will find and you will get friends with values. You will get friends who will value you, yeah, and you will get friends whom you should value a lot. Should I repeat? Yeah, you will get friends, who are very valuable. Yeah, you will get friends who will value you, and you will get friends whom you should value. Yeah, so one of the best treasure that you can get in Krishna consciousness is friends. Okay, so because my friend wanted me to be here, I'm here. Yeah, but all the more I'm also here to talk to all of you, to understand what you all are doing. Yeah, I'm hearing you all will be getting amazing certificates in a while. Yeah, so you all have taken a lot of efforts. Yeah, and it does not mean that because you have taken your efforts, you should forget fruits. What Bhagavad Gita says, karmanne vadikaraste ma valeshu kadachana. Many of us take this particular verse very wrongly, that whatever we have done, yeah, just give the exam. Don't be excited for the result. No, it's very natural to be excited for the result. It's very natural to to think about what would be the outcome of the efforts that I take. It's very natural. But what we have to do is, we have to go one step further, and whatever fruits we get, collect those fruits and offer them at the lotus feet of the Lord. That is exactly what Karmanyavadikaraste means. You all agree? Okay? So, as you all are excited, even I am excited, and I'll be keeping you from your certificates, but I'll try and make it interesting so that you feel it is worth it. Okay? Now, standing here, this is my home. Nashik is my home. I'm born and brought up in Nashik. We left Nashik a few years ago. But this temple, so we don't have any other home, but this temple is the only home for us in Nashik at this point of time. So, but then I can surely say one thing, that I've been to places. I've seen the world. Yeah. When I say that, I've seen so many countries. I've met people from so many countries. Yeah. And one thing which I would like to say is, Nashik is very genuine, very beautiful, and just the right size for everything. Yeah. So नाशिकचा जो एक वेगळा द्राक्षांमध्ये कसा गोडवा येतो ना नाशिकच्या, तसाच सेम नाशिकच्या प्रत्येक गोष्टीमध्ये गोडवा आहे. And very beautiful weather, very beautiful atmosphere, very less pollution still. आपण तरी पण we keep complaining about traffic, this, that, but I would still say that Nashik is very, very beautiful. Okay, so one of our mentors, Raj Bihari Prabhu, he always says that and in fact even our spiritual father Radhanath Swami, we very specifically mentions that gratitude is the basis for everything. Yeah, spirituality 110%, but I would say everything. Yeah, all relationships. Yeah, whatever you would be achieving in your life, even success, basis of that would be gratitude. Okay. Now, today's session is only gratitude for Bhagavad Gita. So the title that I thought for the topic today is Bhagavad Gita and Me. It is something which is very personal. It is not to share, what one person is doing, but it is about, I'm setting the right perspective, okay, before I start the session. It's not about what a person does, but it is about what Bhagavad Gita can do to a person. Okay, so I hope I have set the perspective right before I started. The topic today, Bhagavad Gita and me. And let me tell you, even at this particular stage, each one of you will have your own version of Bhagavad Gita and me. Okay, so it could be a similar story, it could be a similar experience, yeah. But each one of these is treasurable, and the root of that, is the gratitude that we have. Okay. Now, the story starts way back 97, 98. Okay. The time when one of the girls was just studying her B pharmacy. Okay. And she was in the hostel. No family members there. Yeah. And that too an area where it would take 7.5, 8 hours to just travel and reach. Very difficult place to live. The culture in that particular place was completely different than that of Nashik. Okay, so come from the city, gone to a very small village town where people would be looking you under magnifying lens, especially girls. So, and then a very tough rector, by the way. But then some of the best days that I could spend in my life were when I was in that village. Because that's the time when my hostel mate, my roommate, Padmini, she told me about ISKCON and she told me about Bhagavad Gita. So all of the Sundays for this girl were about feast, that's the only day that hostelites get nice dabba, So otherwise every day you'll have to find dal in the rasa of, the dal. You'll have to find out, ye dal tha ya ye dal tha, ye pani tha. Yeah, and in fact, to the extent that my mother had come once and she was into tears, eating that particular tiffin, saying that, oh, this is the tiffin that my daughter is eating. And then everyone laughed, when she said this, and she was almost into tears. So she was thinking, what happened? I was very serious about what I was saying. So why they were laughing? Because I used to be the teacher, typical of that, with all of my friends. I used to say, this is Annaya Purna Brahma. So once you start, being ungrateful to the food that you get, it's not the right mood. Yeah. So that's the place where the worst of the place to live in that sense. If you talk about material world and from that point of view, very simple, very dusty roads, no roads in fact. When it used to rain, it used to be all kitchen. But the best of the things is what I got starting from there. Okay. And when I came across ISKCON and I came across knowing about Bhagavad Gita, discussions in the Sunday feast that we used to have, that time also Sunday feast, yeah. All would be discussion about Bhagavad Gita and Krishna. So that time not much of Radharani. But by the way, I've changed my party. Okay? I don't know how many of you have, but I'm sure about it. My party is fixed. So, when this friend of mine, she told me about ISKCON and, I was looking for Bhagavad Gita. I went back to my grandpa because I wanted to, start a pharmaceutical factory which would manufacture Ayurvedic medicines. That was one of my ambition at that particular point of time. Of course, ambitions change, yeah, but one should have ambitions, yeah, be it in your material life, be it in your spiritual life, because goal is what keeps you motivated as you go further. Yeah. So I was looking for all of the books and suddenly I got this one book and it felt like magic, like magnet, attracting me to it. And when I held that particular book, I forgot to look after any of the books that my grandfather had. And then I went to my grandfather and told him, does anyone read this particular book here? And he said, no, No one reads. You can keep it for yourself. And what was that book? Loudly. But not just Bhagavad Gita, it was Bhagavad Gita Jashi Ahe Tashi. And unfortunately, it was Jashi Ahe Tashi, post my grandfather used to refer it at times, and you will not believe. The edition of this Bhagavad Gita Jashi Ahe Tashi was the same year as my birth year, 1978. Now, how much I read Bhagavad Gita, I'm not sure, faintly which I remember. In that 1 or 2 years, I completed 7 chapters of Bhagavad Gita. Okay? Means, जो main part है, Bhagavad Gita का sandwich formula से जाए, so I just touched upon that particular part actually, but left it probably there because after that came back here and so on and so forth. But one more thing which happened with me, which was very, very magical, and why I say Bhagavad Gita Jashi Ahe Tashi. Okay, there was a photograph of an elderly man, in his 70s probably, very deep eyes, yeah, and he was in that picture. He held the thal, and what you play thal with something, right? The stick kind of a thing. So that was the picture that was there, and a very bright pitch pink color, dress that he was wearing in that particular photograph. Any guess who this? Yes, you're right. That was Srila Prabhupada. And by the way, I always say this, but I mean what I say. So that was the age when actually girls should be looking at boys and boys should be looking at girls, and something very natural and this and that and so on and so forth. And I was looking at a grandfather, and I felt like it was such a strong magnet that I cannot, like for hours I used to see his photograph. In Bhagavad Gita Jashi Ahe Tashi, probably why I read only 7 chapters is because I used to for hours see his photo. Yeah, but then, I couldn't stop seeing him anytime. I didn't know about him. Yeah, I didn't know anything about ISKCON in detail at that time. I didn't know about. I was not even chanting. Yeah, I was not chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra then. Yeah, I was having a regular food, everything, because I just came across this book. Bhagavad Gita became my life, and Prabhupada became my life. That's it. But by the way I changed my party from Krishna to Radharani, I'll not say exactly changed my party, but in that party, one of the most important role today, one person who plays, is my Guru Maharaj also, like Radhanath Swami. So my first love was of course Prabhupada, but that got extended, and that love is intense towards my spiritual father more at this particular point of time. And I asked him to give that, and he granted it. Okay, so mercifully. Yeah. So when I started reading this particular book, I felt it was magical, and let me tell you, as it may be, the situation with many of us was situation of mine. I used to read next verse, and I used to feel, "Pehle kya padha tha?" You feel like, "Arey, acha, have I really read this?" Even today, sometimes I feel, "Bapre, Bhagavad Gita, इतनी बार पढ़ा है, भक्ति शास्त्री हो गया, सब हो गया, तो भी ऐसा लगता है, बाप रे, am I really thorough with Bhagavad Gita?" If you ask me that question, I'll not be sure about it, unfortunately. Yeah, but they are very merciful. You all know that story, right? Do you all know the story? Okay, let me tell you the part of it. Tell me if you know it, you can complete it. Okay? So there was a boy who went to his grandpa and said, "Grandpa, you asked me to read all of these scriptures, you asked me to read Bhagavad Gita, but then I don't remember anything. What is the use? Why am I wasting my time? Yeah? And then the grandpa said, or rather he didn't say anything much. Anyone knows what the story is? I'm sure you all know it.
The boy a basket and the grandfather gave the boy a basket, regular using basket, and he said that go to the river or pond and collect water in it and come back. So for the first time when he come, there was no water left in the basket, but grandpa said try it once more. So he went again he came, there was no water in it. So he tried a few more times, and he came back to the grandfather and said because it has holes in the basket, the water doesn't stay. So the grandfather said, but look at the basket carefully, so it is more cleaner than it was earlier.
Definitely her mother trained her well, yeah. But then I think we also did some part, isn't it? Can we all again once more, applaud and say Hari Bol, for all of these girls. At whatever age you all have come, they were fortunate to get it very early on. Yeah, in their life, and the best part is they have been grateful for what they have got, and they are still following, Krishna consciousness. So that's something which is amazing, and we appreciate. Okay, and it's so beautiful that you have a group of amazing girls, amazing devotee girls, who are here to always receive you with a smile and with their melodious, beautiful voice, kirtan, yeah. So, and with a lot of experiencing or lot of sharing of lot of those experiences what they have had. Isn't it amazing? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. By the way, I wanted to tell one more thing. I loved who made my introduction. I love the girl who made my introduction. What's your good name, Vinna? Adya. You are very sweet. Okay, thank you for the sweet introduction. Coming back to the story, exactly that's what the thing, We don't know how much we will be able to remember, but whatever we will be able to remember will be worth it. And the toughest time when you need most, you will remember. That's their promise. Okay? So you have to trust it. One. Second, whatever you are able to remember, remembering everything in Bhagavad Gita may not be just the goal. Yeah? So a lot of people say that Kanthastha hai माझी Bhagavad Gita. 700 shlok ashyetat mala. No? That's great. Because they are carrying it from their previous birth. That is appreciable. Yeah? But the best is when you are able to say, Miye jagte. Yeah? So I'm trying to live this. Yeah? That would be the best part of Bhagavad Gita. Yeah? So when we start living Bhagavad Gita in our life, actually then we realize that our consciousness, which is like that dirty basket, gets cleaner and cleaner and beautiful. And that beauty doesn't stay inside, it radiates. And it radiates not only to your family members, but it radiates to the whole world. That's the beauty of Bhagavad Gita and living Bhagavad Gita in life. You all agree with it? Okay? Yeah. So then after this particular, incidents, I completed or rather, during the graduation also I got an opportunity to participate in one of the debates, and I faintly remember that probably it was ISKCON. Later on, I got the certificate, and it was the centennial year of ISKCON. And it was Paramans Prabhu only who organized the debate in Dulia's one of the college, engineering college, I remember. And I remember I got second prize. Yeah. So the best part is, once you get, the mercy, or rather, typically if you would like to say in the typical words, once you get infected, finish. That's it. You may want to leave, but you'll not be able to leave, okay? Soch samajh ke. So, post that I came to Nashik, and then, my now husband, he was the one who told me where the center is in Nashik. Okay? And then he was not into Krishna consciousness. And after that, we brought him into Krishna consciousness. So that is how life is, and it's very magical. And it's the magic of Prabhupada, and it's the magic of Bhagavad Gita. I didn't know Hare Krishna Mahamantra then. Of course, now, the way I change a lot of parties, I change party in one sense in terms of that. I appreciate Bhagavad Gita scriptures a lot, but I equally appreciate Hare Krishna Mahamantra. I'm very much attracted to, this greatest boon which has directly come from Golok Vrindavan. Okay, so this is what I wanted to share with all of you in terms of the story of Bhagavad Gita and me. Scripturally, great acharyas have talked so beautifully about the greatness of Bhagavad Gita, and you may have heard of Gita Mahatmya, and there are amazing shlokas, and out of these shlokas, a few shlokas are very, very favorite of mine. Do we have time to take one or two shlokas? Is that okay? And by the way, I'm sure all of you have read about these shlokas. How many of you have read the preface of Bhagavad Gita? Oh, is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So around 10 of you have read the preface of Bhagavad Gita. Okay. So when we take prasadam today, don't be miserly. Just share what you felt nice about reading Bhagavad Gita. Okay? Yeah? And always remember, don't read Bhagavad Gita like other books. The starting word of Bhagavad Gita, from that actually Bhagavad Gita starts. Okay? By the way, the preface, the introduction, which has been given by Prabhupada, is also magical, This particular March, April, I was in US, and I got an opportunity to actually go to the place where Bhagavad Gita's first, the introduction part was delivered as a lecture by Prabhupada. 26 2nd Avenue, New York. Okay? So it's a very simple place, but again, it's a very magical place. Every Tuesday, if you sometime happen to visit New York, this information can sit with you. Every Tuesday, they read from Prabhupada Leelamrit. Okay? And beautiful nectar is what they discuss about Prabhupada's all pastimes. Okay? By the way, this introduction, which was, is written for this Bhagavad Gita by Prabhupada, was actually a lecture delivered by Prabhupada. Okay? But does anyone know the story behind it? What happened? what happened when Prabhupada was supposed to give that lecture? You all don't know? Okay. Should I? Would you like to tell them? So another, I have all my best friends sitting here, okay? Yeah. Purna Shakti Mataji is there, Vinaya is here, yeah. Karpura Manjari Mataji is here. Yeah. So, and Mataji, all of the Prerna Chetana Chetana programs, for girls that we have. We have copy of it and we have recordings of all of that, thanks to Mataji. So you all should. And do you see someone guarding the whole thing like Jai Vijay? So we should thank Mataji also. You will find a lot of other Matajis who will be serving nice prasadam. So we are grateful to all of them. Okay? Yeah. So this is an interesting incident that this time Prabhupada was well prepared with his classes and he was waiting for people to come. Yeah, he had prepared all the feast. Typically, Prabhupada used to make something very interesting. Does anyone know what sweet he used to make? Gulab jamun. And what he used to call them? ISKCON bullets. Once it hits, by the way, today it is Gulab jamun again, right? No? Surprise. Sorry. So ISKCON bullets. Yeah, be ready for the ISKCON bullets. So, if not today, sometime, definitely. So, Prabhupada was all ready for the class. Any guess what happened? Any guess what happened? No one turned up. No one. कोई आया ही नहीं. And what would typically a person like me do? कोई नहीं अलग माझं तेवढा वेळ वाचला मी जाते पळते. Yeah, I would be doing that. But what Prabhupada did, and that's why he is Prabhupada. Yeah, he still gave the class. And that is actually the introduction to Bhagavad Gita. Isn't it amazing? That's why I say, read each word. It is so valuable, it is so important. You should not miss even a word of Bhagavad Gita. Okay? Yeah. So, we'll be seeing a few shlokas, and thanks to Purna Shakti Mataji, she was kind enough to get me all of the screenshots of, the first few pages of Bhagavad Gita. Okay? So, actually, I was seeing Gita Mahatmya, and it is amazing. Actually, what Gita Mahatmya is, Bhumi Devi. By the way, I work in sustainability. So now I worship actually whom more, or whatever work I do, I offer it to, or I do it for Bhumi Devi actually. Yeah, who is consort of Lord Varahadev. Yeah. So she approaches Krishna. And she is worried about how, sins are increasing and how people are, being fallen, and what would happen to all of them. Now she is the mother. Yeah, typically how mothers are, whatever you do to them, still they will keep loving you because they are mothers. So you keep giving them to mothers. What do you think? Typically this age, is like that. We think our parents are not smart enough, they are not trendy, yeah? They are old-fashioned, yeah? They are old school, yeah? But by the way, they have seen the world much better than what we have. You all agree? Yeah. And try and empathize and try and connect. That is the only solution what you have for the differences of opinion that you will have, the generational gap that you will have. I'm not saying that they may be right every time. I'm not claiming that. Yeah? And I don't want to say that you will be wrong every time. Yeah? But how can you help them to look your point of view better? And how can you see their point of view better? Please try and do that. Okay? Promise? And you give promise to Radharani, okay? That you will make your best effort to connect to your parents, okay? A little better, yeah? Being grateful and trying to connect a little better to them, okay? Yeah. So, typically the way the mothers are, Bhumi Devi had a lot of, she was really worried about, people, and souls in general. Yeah? And then Lord Krishna, or rather Lord, not specified in Gita Mahatmya there exactly, but says that, all good things about Bhagavad Gita. But then more than those all shlokas, particularly Prabhupada has included a few Gita Mahatmya shlokas in the introduction, in the preface, and I felt that speaks, that's more impactful. Yeah? Those shlokas are more impactful and more lovely. And that is why I went back to the preface, and those are the shlokas that I have brought here for our meditation today. Okay? Maline mochanam pusam jalasnanam dine dine sakrita Gitamrita snanam sansara malanashanam. One may clean himself daily by taking bath in water. But if one takes a bath even once in the sacred Ganges water of Bhagavad Gita, for him the dirt of material life is altogether vanquished. Okay, so that's the first one. Next is Gita su Gita kartavya kimmanye shastra vistarehi ya swayam padmanabhasya mukha padmat vinirisata. Because Bhagavad Gita is spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one need not read any other Vedic literature. One need only attentively and regularly hear and read Bhagavad Gita in the present age. People are so absorbed in mundane activities that it is not possible for them to read all the Vedic literatures. By the way, you must have heard about all of these surnames, yeah? Dvivedi, Trivedi, Chaturvedi. What does that mean? Absolutely right. Yes, you had the answer. Any other answer? There? Same? Yeah. And you are absolutely right. Shri Shri Radha Madan Gopal, Lalita Vishakha Devi ki. So, what answer you all gave is perfectly right, yeah? That, these are the people who were thorough in those many Vedas. We have 4 Vedas, right? Chaturvedi meant they know all those Vedas and they are thorough in those Vedas. Okay? So, but then how many of us would be comfortable, with all 4 Vedas? How many of us have that intelligence to actually bring out the analysis and then essence from all of these Vedas? Hai koi Mai ka lal? Yeah, but then the acharyas are so merciful. The Lord is so merciful. Yeah, that the essence of all of these Vedic literatures is there in Bhagavad Gita. 700 shlokas still manageable. You all agree? Yeah? पढ़ के हो तो जाएगा. But then so many Vedas, so many shlokas, so difficult. Yeah? This one book, Bhagavad Gita, will suffice. Okay? Because it is the essence of all Vedic literatures, and especially because it is spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay? So why is Gita called as Gita? Absolutely right. Yeah. So if you look at the full form of Gita, I was just thinking about what could be the acronym for Gita. So first G is, of course, it is God's song. Yeah. You all agree? Yeah. And why do we say it is song? By the way, why do we say it is a song? And by the way, it is a song which is sung in which place? Battlefield पे कोई गाना गाता है? Imagine, typically, yeah, someone doing that pose and, singing a song, and in the battlefield, and not a battlefield like that, World War. Yeah, at the time of World War, yeah, the whole world was at war at that point of time. And one of the biggest slaughter which we could massacre, which we could even hear of, happened there. Yeah? And there the Lord is singing. And that is the beauty. And because it is Lord's song, it is absolute. What does absolute mean? Nothing beyond that, okay. Any other thought on this? It is absolute. Without any? Pure. Yeah, it is pure. Yeah, it's pure. Nothing beyond it. Yes. So, this is absolute madness. Yeah, we use this word. Yeah. So that party was absolute madness. You'll use this language, right? All of you, or you have more trendier words which have come now, which, I'm old school to even know. Yeah? So absolute. Okay? But it is not obsolete. Two very related words but very different meaning altogether. Yeah? So God's song. And the beauty is, from Sanskrit point of view also, Bhagavad Gita is perfect. It's pure, it is perfect also. Yeah? And the beautiful part is that the best of the grammatical, all rules that you have in case of Sanskrit, and the varied names have been used to emphasize a particular point. Like, why is Parth called as Parth in some places, Arjun in some other places, yeah, Gudakesh in other places. Varied names have been used by Lord Krishna for Arjuna, and each one actually matches the message that he is going to give in that particular verse. Isn't it so beautiful, isn't it? Yeah. So it is God's song. Okay. Then I thought of I is little bit this, but I would like to say that it is inclusive. Bhagavad Gita is inclusive. Yeah. It is same for everyone. Bhagavad Gita doesn't discriminate. Yeah. And why I would like to say this now, you may have an argument, and you should not take everything for the face value. Okay. If I say it, doesn't mean that you should just accept it because I am saying it. Yeah, you may argue. Yeah, you're saying, yeah, Bhagavad Gita is inclusive, it doesn't discriminate, but there are a lot of people who don't know how to read. Then for them, Is Bhagavad Gita discriminatory? What do you all think? What do you all think? Don't say just because I am saying. What do you all think? So I'm not going to give a case. I'm not just giving argument for the sake of it. I will be giving a case here. Okay? And this is history. Okay? So Kurma Kshetra is a place in south, and there was a Brahmin in Kurma Kshetra. And in the temple of Lord Kurma, Kurma is the tortoise form of the Lord, right? And this particular Brahmin was reading a book when Lord Chetana Mahaprabhu came there. And Chetana Mahaprabhu saw that he was holding the book upside down, kind of a thing. Or rather, he wasn't able to actually read anything, or whatever he was reading was wrong. And Chetana Mahaprabhu was really attracted to this person a lot, trying to understand what he is trying to do with Bhagavad Gita. And soon because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was actually teacher in Sanskrit grammar, a perfection in Sanskrit grammar, So he was like, oh, why? So he called this particular Brahmin and asked, why are you reading Bhagavad Gita? It seems that you are not able to read it. Then, and he was having all tears in his eyes. Rather, he asked, why are you crying reading this particular scripture? Sorry, this was the right thing that he asked. Okay, and then this Kurma Brahmin said that actually when I see Lord Krishna, driving the chariot of Arjuna, I feel, how can Lord take up this lowly position? If I tell you, sorry, this is just for the sake of example, okay? Don't take it personally and nothing, this thing about it. But imagine, someone who owns like some of the world, in that sense, Ambaniji, and I tell you that he has become my driver. Yeah? So just for the sake of it, okay? But there is no comparison between these two again. So imagine, Lord becoming driver of his devotee, and that is what actually makes me cry. Now, did that person understand Bhagavad Gita, or did that person did not understand Bhagavad Gita? Was Bhagavad Gita discriminating between one who can read it and not read it? If one has understood this deep essence of Bhagavad Gita, that person has known Bhagavad Gita. Are you understanding? You're getting my point? So do you agree with my point? Inclusive, no discrimination. Okay? T, timeless wisdom. You'll agree? Yeah? It is eternal. Yeah? And the Lord himself tells about it. Surya Dev, spoke to him, spoke to Manu, and like this, it is coming in that disciplic succession. And Prabhupada also gives a detailed sequence of all of the Guru Parampara, from whom it has come to whom, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, and then so on and so forth, and it comes finally to, Bhakti Vinod Thakur ji, and then to Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, and Prabhupada, and so on. Yeah? So the knowledge is coming through an unbroken chain. What does it mean? Imagine if this particular cable was faulty, or the lamp's cable is faulty, the energy won't come. You all agree? Similarly, it's very important that it has to be an unbroken chain of knowledge, coming through the disciplic succession. All of you agree? So timeless wisdom. And let me tell you, now in that story of this girl, Now there was one more chapter in her story. Then she came to Nashik, and she continued her MBA. Yeah? And while she was studying MBA, she came across a competition which was organized in NDMVP. And in that, institution, she presented a paper, a research paper on Bhagavad Gita. And she tried to convince, her mentor, a lot, saying that, yes, I can, even though I don't know Bhagavad Gita thoroughly, still I can make a research paper and present. Then he said, prove it. Okay? And there was a test on Bhagavad Gita. And he said, if you secure highest marks in that test, you can present the paper on Bhagavad Gita. I said, challenge taken. And I got the highest marks in that test, fortunately, and then made a presentation in NDMVP on Bhagavad Gita. And that time, I brought in, the understanding of how it is a timeless wisdom. The problems keep changing, but the solution is one. Depression. Anyone heard about depression earlier? Yes, of course. Arjun by himself is the biggest case of depression. Who can say that there was no depression earlier? Yeah? By the way, this Gen Z is not just the exclusive generation which faces depression. Yeah? There was this challenge earlier too. But we have magnified it a lot. We may have the right solution in place for it. We have to first accept it as the solution. Make sense? Okay? So then I spoke about time management coming from Bhagavad Gita. I spoke about overall crisis management. How do you handle crisis? Yeah? Crisis is, the biggest crisis is, in that crisis, the leader goes into crisis. That could be the worst crisis ever. You all agree? Yeah? And imagine for that crisis management, Krishna talking about Bhagavad Gita. So anything and everything has the solution in Bhagavad Gita. It's a comprehensive guide for it. A timeless wisdom. You all agree? Yeah? And A. And this last A would have been very different in my earlier, phase of life. But for now, I would say A is equal to action. Now, what I mean by action is not not that kind of action that you typically see. Yeah, a lot of action movies. How many of you are a fan of action movies, by the way? No? You all are good kids. By the way, the best of the action was, of course, Mahabharata. You all agree? My God, we can't even imagine the kind of action which happened. Yeah? Ha Surya, ha Jayadrat. Oh, what could be the, climax setting other than this? Can you imagine? So thrilling and so adventurous. Yeah, you'll agree? Yeah. So action. But what I mean by action here is a little bit different. When I say action, it means is Jnana Vijnana Sahita. Bhagavad Gita is not just for parroting. It is for living. Each verse, is the guidebook. It's the guidebook for us to live the life that we deserve to live. We don't deserve to live a life like a miserly, which, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna, don't be the miser. You are a greatest warrior. You say you are a great warrior, but don't act like a miser. Don't think like a miser. Yeah? We deserve to live life far more than becoming a miser. And in literal sense also, not becoming miser means whatever we have got, sharing that beautiful gift with everyone who comes in our life. Yeah? So there were days when I used to inject everyone with Bhagavad Gita, whoever used to come in front of me. Yeah, but now I've got a better way of doing that, you know. कि इंजेक्शन लग भी जाए पता भी नहीं चले. I've become a little bit trained in that sense, but nonetheless try and share with sincerity. That can be the thing which can be constant. Okay, share it with sincerity and with love, and I'm sure you will give that person the best gift ever. There was the last chapter in this girl's life when she lost So the last chapter was when she lost her father-in-law. But he perfected his life with Bhagavad Gita. And I think he taught this girl how one should live Bhagavad Gita in life. A person so elderly, yeah, with so many challenges health-wise, but brimming with happiness, yeah, and brimming with radiance, yeah. The person who innocently lived his life, you know, and completely changed as a person. And the credit of that transformation actually goes to Bhagavad Gita. So the second last day that this girl spent with the father-in-law was reading Bhagavad Gita to him. And that is the exact time he said that I've completed my life, and you know, I'm here as an amazing receiver of amazing mercy of Prabhupada, you know, Krishna, I've learned one thing in life. People can fake everything except when the last time. Okay? No one can fake that. Yeah? So, we may be at a very young age, we may not be even thinking about anything like this in our life. So what I've tried to paint in front of you is the start to the end. Yeah, so Bhagavad Gita is perfect any phase of life. When you are youngsters, bubbling, you know, cheerful, with whole life in front of you, yeah, and for you all, when enjoyment means a lot in life, that's priority in life. But that enjoyment can become meaningful enjoyment when we accept Bhagavad Gita in life. Okay? So classy, you know, that way. Okay? Till the time you go back. Okay? But at the end, you will be ready for the amazing desert which is waiting for you at the end of life with the Lord. Isn't this so amazing? Yeah. What else do we require in life? Yeah. Bhagavad Gita kafi hai. Sufficient. It is a sufficient literature. Okay? Yeah, thank you. Sorry to keep you waiting for such a long time. And I think the most amazing part is waiting for you now.
Thank you. So I believe that all of you are stunned. Yes, because I can read your faces, and I think you agree with Mataji about the glories of Bhagavad Gita, and of course she weaved her story while expressing gratitude for Bhagavad Gita, and I'm very thankful to my dear friend Her Grace Ras Bhakti Mataji that she came here and gave wonderful message to all of us about Gita, God's song. It is, yes, it's inclusive, then timeless wisdom and action. So I believe you will take action by distributing these wonderful scriptures written, of course the purports are written by His Grace, His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada with others. So I believe you will take some action also. Hare Krishna. Now I am giving it to Manjiri.
Even if they don't buy, even if someone doesn't buy from you, don't be morose or don't give bad words. Don't do anything of that. Ask them to just see a few pictures inside. Okay? Ask them to just touch it. That's it. Okay? Yeah? No hard marketing there, but be sincere in your approach. Share your own experience of Bhagavad Gita. I think that will help better. Okay?
So yes, by ISKCON style, we'll express our gratitude to Ras Bhakti Mataji by saying 3 times, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Over to Manjiri.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Now this is time to distribute DYS certificate. Those who have attended a DYS session like with 75% attendance, so we are distributing them DYS certificate. So we request Ras Bhakti Mataji. The first certificate is for Payal Badguzer. Shraddha Gupta, be ready with your Vaishnavi Borse. Shraddha Gupta, Vaishnavi Borse, Neha Sharma, Ishita Zhalke, Aishwarya Hire, Aishwarya Hire, Manasi Parvesi, रश्मिता परदेशी, श्रावणी हिरे, खुशी पोद्दार, भक्ती दरेकर नहीं, सोनाली शेजोळे, कल्याणी गोसावी, नेहा पाटील,
आकांक्षा धोतपरकर, ज्योति देवरे, निकिता नखाते, ज्योति दाते, गौरी आव्हाड, सुगी गोडराव, गुरवा देसले, मोहिनी गोडसे, साक्षी देवरे, आर्या जाधव,
These girls planned some activities during Kartik, and they conducted those activities in Kartik like Tulsi ko jal arpan karna hai, extra rounds chanting, morning chanting. She is the right person to Tulsi Sevika Mata, she is the right person. So the girls who won that Kartik challenge, so the winners will be announced soon by Durga.
By the way, not just Kartik, I have my lifetime challenge. I have been watering Tulsi plant every day.
Like any activity, there were so many activities in Kartik challenge, offering diya to Radha Damodarji, and many were there. She'll announce the winner.
So third winner is Aarti Narsingani. Hari Bol. Second winner is Shreya Deshmukh. First winner is Shravani Borse. Thank you, Mataji.